How soon will you gain your weight back on stopping GLP1 drugs? You'll have heard many extreme views on the internet, but the answer is a bit more nuanced. I'm Dr. Rawat, founder of healthgroupcoaching.com, where I coach on how to lose weight, but also prescribe GLP1 drugs. First of all, we need to understand how GLP1 drugs work. So you have Wegovy and Ozempic, which work through the agonism or mimicking of glucagon like peptide 1, which is an incretin hormone, a gut hormone. And you also have GLP1 and GIP agonist drugs like Zepbound and Mounjaro. They primarily work on your gut and your brain. At your gut, they slow gastric emptying, so they slow down the transit of food through your gut, so you get that feeling of fullness. You may get a bit of nausea, particularly when starting out. At a brain level, they reduce the reward center, so the reward that you get from food. And overall, they just make it much easier for you to get into a calorific deficit. You'll end up forgetting about food, not caring so much about food, not feeling hungry, eating less, smaller portions, less often, and you'll end up in a calorific deficit. So the question is, if you were to take it for, let's say, 6 months and then stop, would you gain the weight back? And if so, how much would you gain back? Well, the medication only works while you take it. And all those effects on the gut and the brain will stop once you stop the medication. The evidence is that you do gain the weight back. However, you need to remember one thing. What I like to say to my coaching clients is no one really gains weight and no one really loses weight. We all live a certain lifestyle. Under the influence of our genetics, under the influence of our customs, cultures, friends, family, how we've grown up, our upbringing. There's a certain amount of food we eat, a certain number of times we eat it, a certain type of food that we consume, a certain amount of activity and exercise that we do, and our weight eventually will reflect our lifestyle. So whether you gain the weight back and how much you gain back is dependent upon to what extent you change your lifestyle. Let's say that if you were, before you took the injection, having bacon for breakfast, donuts for lunch, and pizza for dinner, you take the medication, the portions go down, the frequency goes down, and then you stop the medication, you will gain all your weight back. Because still having bacon for breakfast, donuts for lunch, and pizza for dinner. Let's say you change that. Now you're having eggs, avocado toast for breakfast. You're having perhaps a protein smoothie for lunch, and you're having sweet potatoes, broccoli, and fish for dinner with some Greek yogurt and berries. You can stop the medication, your appetite will increase, you may be having more cheat meals, you may be consuming more food, but if your habits have changed, if you're also walking more steps, if you're sleeping better, if you've had a sleep apnea screening done, you're getting 7 hours of sleep now, previously you were getting 5 hours of sleep, you're doing resistance training, you're getting your steps in, you will gain some weight, but it won't be back to how it was before because your lifestyle has changed. And so to an extent, whether you stop the medication or not really depends on to what extent you've been able to change your lifestyle. While you're on Zepbound, Mounjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, if you have received coaching on how to change your diet patterns, exercise patterns, activity levels, sleep, stress management, then you can try stopping the medication and see where you land. If you start gaining weight, you can see how much you gain. It might be that you get to a weight which you're still comfortable with. It's a comfortable weight for you. It's a weight at which you feel comfortable, you're not sacrificing too much. And of course, if you gain more than you would like, you could always go back on the injections. If you'd like to receive coaching from me, then visit healthgroupcoaching.com. We have a client discovery form. Feel free to fill it in to see if you're a good candidate for the program.